the show. Good morning. It is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. January 21st. Oh, how you doing today, Ryan? You doing good, man? You doing good?
I'm doing good.
I didn't mean to startle you over there either. It's like we're easing into a show here on a Wednesday. I just looked up at our screen and I saw a picture of our fearless 11-1 host every day, Charlie the Tuna.
Our 590 alumni.
Yeah, he's here. Does he still have a show?
Yeah,
he's still doing a show?
Monday through Friday, as you can call it.
Can I turn that mic? I started asking you questions and that mic was turned away. No, it was turned away from. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was like
there's the vibes.
He comes in 11-1 Monday through Thursday, and then he has 2 reruns on Friday.
There you go. The man's there. Hey guys, we're here Monday through Friday. This is Art City Now. I'm Vic Faust. We've got the man, producer Rye in the house. I'm so frustrated with Missouri basketball, man. I stayed up late. I was exhausted. Had car issues the night before, dealing with that stuff. Didn't get any sleep, trying to make things happen. And last night, it's like, I'm going to bed all day long. You ever have those days where it's like, we're supposed to live life to its fullest every day? You don't get a chance for this day again. What's gone is gone. And then we all know we have those days where we're like, damn, I can't wait to get to bed tonight. You know what I'm talking about. Yesterday was one of those days. I swore to myself, Vic, do not just get into bed. Don't turn on TV. Don't get on your phone. I got into bed and I saw an update with Mizzou. They were winning 52-50. I was like, let's just turn it on. So I'm literally laying in bed, not even TV, watching my phone. I'm watching Mizzou piss down their leg at home against Georgia. Now I'm saying they're not a tournament team anymore. This team, man. I want Dennis Gates to be a better coach down the stretch, but he just got some spaz players on his team, missing shots, tons of threes. They lose to number 21 Georgia last night by a couple points. It was all there for the taking. So anyway, I stayed up and watched that, and I shouldn't have. And I stayed up and watched. It's like you don't want to invest in something that's a failure, because once you invest time, money, effort, it's gone. Kind of like a relationship. You know, it's like, wait a second. I was just married to somebody for that long, or I dated somebody for that long, and then now it's like you don't talk, you don't see each other. It's like what happened? It's like I just wasted another 4 years of my life, or 5 years, or 6 years. I wasted 45 minutes watching the second half, the end of that game, man. Mizzou goes down to Georgia. We'll get into that. SLU came into the poll, top 25. It's nice. The thing with SLU, everybody they're supposed to, but they don't play anybody. So we don't know who SLU's going to be until they get to the NCAA tournament and then play somebody that's good or had a good year. Then we'll find out about SLU. So the jury is out on SLU if we're just being honest. Let's be honest. And last night, you know you're going to have these games in college basketball. They played Duquesne. Duquesne made a furious comeback. Made it close for a while, but then SLU took care of business. SLU jumping into the top 25. It's nice to have them ranked. It's just that their schedule is so bad. Bad. But SLU's 18-1. And it's tying a best start in program history as well. So we'll get into that a little bit later. Talking about things that were not so great. The Blues. Man. 3-1 losers last night. We've also got, the Blues losing last night was frustrating, clearly. But you also got a situation where it's like, they're at a point now, bud, where they can't win on the road. They've evolved in and out. They beat 2 of the best teams in the league at home last week.
Or shoot free throws.
And that Mizzou can't shoot free throws. Blues and Mizzou's. Well, Mizzou's gotten better with the free throws, but now they can't hit their 3-pointers. They have a chemistry problem. You ever seen those teams? And I'm talking, when you hear chemistry, it's like, what is it? It's how the sum of all the parts work together to accomplish the goal. And it can be in business. You know, you may have a super seller. You may have a super marketer. You may have super service but you may be lacking in another area. And if you don't have everybody working in unison, it's like, damn, I don't know why they can't be successful. And there's businesses like that all across St. Louis. There's teams like that all across the country. Mizzou is one of those. They've got parts, but the parts do not work well together. And I guarantee you've seen some of those teams in the past. I've also seen a team like that in business where it just didn't work. You're like, we need something else. It's like that missing ingredient. If you go home and you're making a special dinner for your lady, and you need that special ingredient, that special spice, right? You can't, it's like something's missing, but you need something else in there. That's what I'm talking about. And then sometimes you don't think you're going to have much and you just whip it all together and there it is. It all works out. So the Blues lose, Mizzou loses, SLU wins. Yelp has put together a top 100 restaurants that you need to check out across America. The St. Louis area has 4, all post 70, meaning in that range from 70 to 100. We'll get into that. Hacienda, just down the street from us on Manchester. Of course, we broadcast live out of our beautiful setup and studios here in the Kirkwood area on Manchester Road, the 590 studio next to Pasta House. Hacienda, their time there on Manchester coming to an end. We can talk about that. We've also got what could be a big winter storm coming this weekend. Get ready for that. We'll see. We've been very fortunate. I know it was cold a couple days ago, but we've been very fortunate when it comes to the weather and the things that are happening right now. So it's like, okay, it could be a whole lot worse than what it is right now. There was also, when you look at some of the things that were happening, Hall of Fame inductions, the Hall of Fame inductions, and a couple of players who the Cardinals faced over the years. Andrew Jones, former Atlanta Brave, he was voted in. And you've also got, besides Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, former Cardinal.
Yeah, former Cardinal.
Saw Adam Wainwright giving him a shout out last night on X, which was pretty cool. Former teammates from that standpoint. See what they can get going. Also, an interesting story. Oh, by the way, Joe Buck's going to be a part of that ceremony too. So congratulations to Joe. And speaking of Joe Buck, he's an Indiana guy, right?
Yes.
He was posting all over. He was giddy. And he should have been with what Indiana accomplished. That's for sure. Speaking of which, Indiana, it's just how college football is now. Signetti got it, and it sounds so crazy. It's a lot of money, but it's like Signetti got an extra $2 million for winning the national championship. And it also knocked into a clause where he has to be the top 3 highest paid coaches in America. So he's going to be like $14 million a year. Signetti could probably be number 1, considering he just pulled off the greatest college football story ever. And how about Mendoza now? Okay, so we talk about what's happening with Fernando, and we got a fun story about him. Just tell you who he is and what he's about. And I'll be curious to see how this plays. But Mr. Fernando, that he's going to miss the NFL scouting combine. Now, I wonder if it's on purpose, because some people don't think he has a strong arm. But he's got a finance. He says that he has a finance internship going on Wall Street during the NFL combine, and that's where he's going to be. So I'm going, interesting. So you got the guy that many think could be the number one pick in the NFL draft, maybe, saying, I'm going to be on Wall Street doing a financial internship. I don't know. We'll see. The Raiders, Tom Brady was out watching him on the sidelines the other night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, did you see who Tom it wasn't, did you see who he took or was with him at the championship game? Alex Early, from Dance with the Stars.
Okay.
Well, they ran into each other at St. Bart's New Year's Eve. Their video of that was kind of out all over the place. But Bill Belichick's girlfriend, what's her name again?
I don't know, because she doesn't have a
I'm off this morning. Vic, come on. I need to know my gossip news. Jordan's her name.
Yeah, I know it's Jordan.
Jordan was posting pictures with her and Alex. Is it Alex Early or Alex Earl?
I think it's Early.
Well, they were
Jordan Hudson, by the way.
Yeah, so they were together.
Born in 2001.
Yeah, but so those two were together. And it's like Bill and Tom might have been double dating.
Yeah.
20-year-olds.
Hey.
I'm sorry. It's story gets better and better.
Wait, Alex Early has a podcast too.
Well, she is starting. I saw that what she's doing. See, this is the real important stuff here for St. Louis, baby. Starting one on Amazon, starting a podcast show. And you know what? It's perfect. I mean, she lost. She had second place, basically, on Dancing with the Stars. She was probably the best dancer. She lost to the Irwin kid. He was awesome, though, too. Her star power right now, and she's playing it well, whether she's with Tom Brady or whatever, making sure that video got out there. Then we're still talking about her post Dancing with the Stars. And it's all about staying relevant. There's people who teach these classes on staying relevant. Marketing, promotions. It's all about staying relevant. Even bad publicity is good publicity.
Facts. Yes. Because that means somebody's looking at you.
Yeah, it's all about C and be seen. Oh my God. I mean, that's some funny stuff, man. That's good. I love it. I love it. So like I said, there's a lot of good stuff to get into. Did you yeah, so I don't know, man. Where do I want to start this morning? I don't even know where I want to start. There's so much. Anyway, what we'll get into this right now. I want to talk about this winter storm that's coming because it'll be for the weekend. It's a major winter storm, dangerous cold for sure. Maybe I say storm. I shouldn't say storm. Maybe some snow, but it's going to be really, 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 really cold. How about the good news first? Today and tomorrow are going to be relatively nice for January days. Highs in the 40s. Not too shabby. I mean, we get used to that. But then the colder air starts to come in Thursday night and continues through Saturday. And possibility for some snow. But even if we don't see snow, we're talking about what we're being told are dangerous temperatures to the area. Highs like 13 and 14 Saturday and Sunday. And that's before we get into the wind chill. So it's like, okay, great. Can't wait. Thanks so much. But then again, we've been very fortunate, at least in my opinion, we've been fortunate when it comes to the weather so far this winter. And I did notice yesterday, the day seemed a little bit longer to me. The light. Did you notice it? Or were you stuck inside the YMCA or a studio somewhere?
I was stuck in my room working on stuff, but no, I didn't see anything like that.
Because it seems like to me our days have been very, 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 very short this year. Also, coming up today in the 7 o'clock hour, 7:30 specifically, attorney John Wilbers will be in studio. He's a personal injury attorney. Do you remember the big story from years ago with the duck boat that overturned um, the Table Rock Lake? Unfortunately, people should have never been in it. They were stuck underwater, lost their lives. John represented families in that situation. He also has been doing the cash stash where they leave money and tell people on social media where the money is. I kept waiting for something bad to happen. Have you ever seen this before where people will post or they'll place money, right? And then they'll tell you where the money is. And then they'll give you hints and then you have to go find it. You've never seen any of these before?
No, but I want to do it.
Well, yeah, it sounds great on the surface. And I haven't seen any problems or reported problems. But I might joke with him today. Like two people show up at the same time. And it's like game on. It's like, what? Who gets the money? I'm just curious. I'll have to ask him if he's had any of those situations or if he's heard about any of that. But so far, people get excited about it. Once again, as I have said before, money makes the world go round. We know that. And while money may be the root of all evil in some form or fashion, I know there are people who say that money does not make you happy. But I have never met anybody who is angry or upset to receive money. Okay. So it's a good thing. Being given money, earning money. It's a good thing. No, I don't want money. It makes me upset. Yeah. Said nobody. Maybe there are a couple people out there, but yeah, I haven't seen them. Let's see. We'll see where that is. By the way, this is Arch City Now. That's producer Ra, who I'm talking to. I'm Vic Faust. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday again. You can stream us every day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Oh, shoot. Hey, by the way, I forgot to send John a link. Can you send me a link that I can send him to so he can watch a show on, by the way?
Yes.
In the meantime,
I forgot you were talking about send him a StreamYard link. I was about to get. Ooh.
No, he'll be in studio. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'll send him. I can to him right now or send it to
you. Yeah, and then I can send it to him. I'm sorry about that. X, Facebook, and YouTube is where you can stream us every day, of course. We are your Lou information station, and we are live and on demand at louinfo.com. If anybody ever wants to call in, of course, we give that option to you. That is 855-282-8255. Once again, that's 855-282-8255. And then also, remember the sound bite from the other day that Carson Beck, the Miami quarterback, when he was asked before the game, he's like, well, I haven't had class. I graduated 2 years ago.
Yep.
There were like 4 different people I was watching the game that brought that up, and they were women. Well, he hasn't even had to go to school. These football players, well, they can't just not go to school and play football. You have to take some sort of classes, whether they're online classes or whatever. I didn't want people to think, because he said, no class. I graduated 2 years ago. It gained a lot of traction online. You saw that.
Yeah. What else did he mean? Like he hasn't had to show up to class?
Yeah. Well, no, if you're in a class, you have to show up, football player or not.
Yeah, but he may be doing it online. So maybe he's like, oh, I don't have to show up to class.
But the thing about him is the fact that he had a 3.8. He graduated with a 3.8 cumulative grade point average in college. So he had a 3. That they made sure, and his people made sure to get that news out there. It's like, listen, this isn't a dumb athlete. Guy, he's super smart. And by the way, to play quarterback,
gotta be smart
in Division I, it'll blow your mind. It will blow your mind how intelligent you have to be. Offensive lineman, very intelligent. Because there's so many plays you have to know. And then if you walk up to a line and you see different defenses, meaning people standing in different spots, then you have to do something else. You have to think split seconds. Quarterbacks, it's even more. You have to know what everybody's doing too. Most of the time, I'm not going to say every time, but most of the time, quarterbacks are super damn intelligent. They are. But I saw that come down where he had a 3.8 grade point average. It's like, okay, all right, Carson. But he still lost the And he did not play well, but the defenses on both sides were really, really good. So anyway, some of that news coming out right now. And when we were talking about watching us, luinfo.com is where you find out more information about us. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us every day. That's with Cam Jansen, the former Blue. Not a lot of good news to talk about the Blues after last night. And you've got Jim the Cat Hayes talking Cardinals, and there's baseball stuff to talk about today too. So that could be a whole lot worse. Also, I thought that it was, I don't know. Yeah. Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Those guys, lots of Cardinal ties there. Lots of Cardinal ties for sure. But you guys can jump in on the show. As we said, like, subscribe, share it. Let us know what you want to talk about. Interviews, shout outs, what's happening in the world throughout the St. Louis area. If there's events, entertainment, music, food, whatever the case may be, just let us know. We'd love to promote it. It's all about St. Louis, getting you up in the mornings, not yelling at you, just trying to have some fun, not trying to make things too serious. We do have some news headlines as well that we try to get into, but it's all about just having a good time this morning. I mean, we're already through 21 days of January, which is crazy. And then you know what I already saw all over the stores? Valentine's Day stuff. Not that I have anybody to buy for, but I'm just saying, I'm like, Valentine's Day?
Hey,
it's already like Valentine's Day.
Hey, it's less than a month.
Less than a month away.
Like, hey guys,
it is the holiday. Well, it's the holiday for women.
Yeah, it is.
It's the holiday for women. That's for sure.
So I told my ex all the time. I'm like, it's a woman's holiday. I don't expect anything for Valentine's Day except for like maybe a gift card. I don't even expect a gift card. If you give me a gift card, I'm like, oh wow, what? I got something for Valentine's Day?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
No, you may be getting tons of gifts.
I wish.
Just messing with you. Guys, we're off and running, man. It is January 21st. It is a Wednesday. We are live broadcasting from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios, 590 in Kirkwood on Manchester Road. Glad you're with us today. We'll take a quick break. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at luinfo.com. When we come back, we'll get into some of those sporting events and headlines and best restaurants, or at least making the list from the St. Louis area when we come back after this. Don't go anywhere.
What are the keys to a great night out? Great food and drinks, great prizes, and great friends. Join us Thursday, January 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Key STL Burger, Bar, and Boogie in the Grand Center Arts District. Enjoy a live broadcast with Cam Jansen, special guest Matt Adams. Dig into the best smash burgers in town and get your shot at winning opening day Cardinals tickets, autographed merch, and more. That's Thursday, 22nd, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Key STL, 3225 Olive. Come eat, hang out, and win.
Hi, it's Jennifer Bordeaux, and I am here with Edward Jones financial advisor Bethany Shell. Bethany, when it comes to choosing a financial advisor, what should people really be asking?
Jennifer, I think the first question is simple. Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Your goals, your family, your future, it should always be personalized.
So it's not just about numbers?
Exactly. Life changes, and so does your financial situation. You want someone who will be there with you, working with you to help keep your strategy on track.
What if someone is brand new to investing?
That's the best time to start. We use to create a personalized strategy backed by advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we make sure you have access to the information you need when you need it.
I love that. So it sounds like financial planning is really about living life on your own terms.
It really is. I believe feeling rich isn't about hitting a magic number. It's about having financial strategies that support a life you love. Because the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Contact me today at 314-648-2020. This is a paid-for ad by Bethany Shell at Edward Jones, member SIPC.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you in GetBC.com.
Your LouInfo.com news report. Frank Carr has been sentenced to 366 days in state prison for a crash that led to a St. Louis police officer losing part of his leg. Carr pleaded guilty to leaving the scene of an accident causing injury and tampering with evidence. The March 2025 crash happened on Interstate 70 when Officer Nathan Spice was struck while pursuing a teenage carjacking suspect. Carr fled, but later confessed. A St. Louis man faces charges after allegedly breaking into a building at the Anheuser-Busch Tech campus on Sydney Street. 23-year-old Theron Bailey Kent was found asleep on a couch by a security guard on Sunday. Investigators say he damaged a beer cooler, interior door frame, and stole several servings of beer. Footage shows him entering the building by climbing under a gate. Jennings High School reopened Tuesday after extensive repairs from a broken water pipe that burst overnight December 22nd. Classes were initially set to resume January 6th, but they did virtual learning instead. They'll be on a hybrid schedule for the time being. The Lou Information Station streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com and the free Lou Info app. I'm Jen Austin.
Now, louinfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your louinfo.com weather update. We've got some really cold air on the way by Friday and through the weekend. For now, we'll stay with a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Afternoon high in the low 40s, clear and mid-20s for the overnight hours, and breezy or in the upper 30s and a mix of sun and clouds Thursday. Friday, a lot colder, mid-teens and cloudy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 louinfo.info app.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rate you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. 800-298-0306. That's 800-298-0306.
All right, Cam, be honest. New Year's resolution still holding strong?
Not so much, Kat. But I did decide on one thing that I'm sticking with. Making home life better in 2026.
And that's a good one. And if better includes more fun, more time outside, and less stress, then you need to talk to Merrimack Pools and Outdoors.
Absolutely. They build backyard escapes, pools, patios, outdoor kitchens, the kind of place everyone actually wants to hang out.
And now's the perfect time to plan. Don't wait until summer hits. Start now, get it designed right, and be ready when the warm weather shows up.
Merrimack Pools and Outdoors walks you through the whole process, from design to construction, and they do it the right way.
So if your New Year's goal is fewer trips, fewer crowds, and more memories at home, go to SplashSTL.com.
That's SplashSTL.com, and make this year the year your backyard finally wins. That's SplashSTL.com.
Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
There we go. I gave a whole diatribe and it wasn't even on air. And we will not get those words back. I will not do it again. Producer Y and I have a pretty good time here. Glad you're with us this morning. Hey, stay with us. Coming up at 7:35 today, we'll be talking with attorney John Wilbers, personal injury attorney here in the St. Louis area of Duck Boat fame. Did a fantastic job on that case. And also, he kind of has a cool concept these days. He's giving away cash, the stash cash or the cash stash. Which way would you call it? The cash stash, right? Even though you're stashing cash.
Cash stash.
Cash stash. And we'll talk about some of those that are going on. Also advice when it comes to maybe some things that you guys are dealing with in life. And it's like, wait a second, that shouldn't have happened. Just to make sure that you're protected in every single way. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. You can always give us a call if you'd like. 855-282-8255. And once again, that is 855-282-8255. We're here Monday through Friday. You know we're here, 6 to 8 a.m. Hot Take Central 2.0 follows us each day with Cam Jansen and Jim the Cat Hayes. We're here today. And, of course, we got a lot of things to talk about as we have been. Also, coming up today at 10 o'clock, after Hot Take Central 2.0 finishes up, you've got the MIZ STL show. That's a show I would not want to be doing today. Talking Mizzou basketball after what they did last night. They did not look good. They blew it down the stretch, and they lost a game at home. So now they lose the close ones on the road, and they lose the close ones at home. And they're not a team that can lose a lot of those games and still think that they're going to make the NCAA tournament. Bummed out from that standpoint, but it is what it is. Okay, let's talk about it. We'll get into it. St. Louis Blues last night. They lost again on the road, and they just did not play well. And they always seem to have some issues in Winnipeg. And Winnipeg, believe it or not, is a team that is not having a great season, but they're hanging right there next to the Blues. And not only that, they beat St. Louis last night. The offense was non-existent, and that's a problem. And the other interesting thing about it is the loss last night knocked the Blues back into last place. They're technically tied in points, but that division outside of the top three teams is all somewhat, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams bunched together by 8 points. And, you know, the Blues have played 50 games. They have 46 points. Winnipeg has played 49 games, and they have 46 points. The bottom line is this. We knew it was going to be a tough road for the Blues. The problem now is the fact that they still have another game on this road trip, and it's not easy. The easiest team you were playing was a team that you played last night, and you lost 3-1. Now, Joel Holford didn't play bad. He only had to face 15 shots, gave up 2 goals. The Blues held Winnipeg to just 15 shots and lost somehow, some way. But here's the problem. Now you go to Dallas Wednesday night, one of the best teams in the league and division opponents, and you're really going to be a heavy underdog, and you're battling for whatever points you can get right now. And then you come back home Saturday night, going into next Tuesday and Thursday, and you've got Dallas Friday night. Then you've got LA Saturday this weekend, Saturday at home. Dallas is on the road. Then you have Dallas coming back to St. Louis Tuesday night, followed by Florida next Thursday. So it does not get any easier for this team. And then when you break it down and who the Blues are and what they're doing and how they're trying to make things happen, it's like, uh-oh, because it was 2-1 last night. It was a tight game all the way down. I mean, it was an empty net goal at the end of the game that made it 3-1. But Scheifele, who's had some pretty good games against the Blues, had 2 goals plus an assist to beat the Blues last night, 3-1, on just 16 shots. 16. Kyrou, good to see him get back in the scoring column. He scored for the Blues. Hofer stopped 13 of 15 shots, actually. Lost its second straight, and they've lost 5 times in the last 7 games. It's not a team headed in the direction that they want to be going in. The interesting thing is that the 2 wins came against very good teams at home. And it was almost as if you're talking about the highest of the high with this team, and then, oh my God, a couple games later, it's the lowest of the low. So the Blues are just 19-23-8, and that's not going to cut it. Not going to work. The other problem that the Blues did in this game last night, they took it, the Jets took advantage. They had a 4-minute high sticking penalty because Nathan Walker from the Blues, clipped a Winnipeg defenseman. And then what happened? The Winnipeg scored twice in a 1:33 span through the next period. And then after that, the Blues really couldn't get much going. They were down 2-0 in the first. They added a goal to make it 2-1. Late in the second, coming into third period, think things will be better, and then they couldn't score another goal. So then they ended up losing again. Dallas on Friday night in Dallas, and then Saturday, you're back home hosting Florida and Dallas. So tough games coming up for the Blues. I mean, I'm at a point now, it's like, I know they could get hot at the end after the break, whatever, get a playoff run, win 3 or 4 in a row. Are they capable of it? Yeah, but they're also capable of losing every game too. And that's the concern. It's like, okay, where are we going to see? What are we going to see with this team now? Is this really going to be, and how long? I mean, fans, we root for them. We go, we want to see them do well. But then again, at the same point in time, you're like, okay, do we just get ready for this team not to be a playoff team? And then they're just kind of stuck? Because now you're talking about a team that once they lose, or leave home, when they leave home now, they've actually got a 12-9-5 record at home. So they've gotten that above 500. Their problem is on the road. And you're talking about a team right now. They have the fewest amount of road wins in the entire Western Conference. Second fewest. That's it. Only Vancouver is worse, and they're the worst team in the league. That's how bad the Blues are. They don't play on the road. They can't play on the road. 7-14-3 is their record. The other problem that the Blues have is they're a -50 in goal differential. Only Vancouver at -51, 1 goal more, has the worst goal differential in the Western Conference or the entire NHL. So now you're talking about this Blues team. And I know I wish it was more positive. It's facts. They're last in their division. They're second worst in their Western Conference. And they have the worst goal differential in the Western Conference and second worst in the entire NHL. It's not working. It's not working. Are the Blues looking to make some sort of a deal behind the scenes? And there's not going to be a lot of time to make deals because of what's happening with the Olympic break. There might be like a 2-week period where you're allowed to do that. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, yeah, I know they could get hot. I just don't see this team being a playoff team. I don't. And I know it's only January. And I'm not jumping off the boat in regards to being crazy. It just, I see a lot of, I see, and I think I have seen what I need to see. And even if they make the playoffs, are we really expecting them to do something against the caliber teams that they'd be playing? I don't see it. I just don't. And it's a bummer because I want this team to do so well. And I love the Blues just like you guys do. But right now, we don't have a lot to get excited about. So enjoy, get excited as best as you possibly can. But that's what we have with this team. Maybe the Olympic break will be able to reset something for this team. But right now, there is absolutely nothing that I see that gets me excited to think that something is going to change. And then you look at what the schedule has and how many games before that, before the break comes up. And we're getting ready to do that because you've got literally February 4th. Just put it this way. In a stretch from Friday, January 23rd through February 4th, you've got to play Dallas 3 times. Dallas is damn good and in your division. So the Blues finish up with Dallas on February 4th. Then they have the 22-day break, that's the 22-day break. It is during that time when they must find some sort of way to put a team together that's going to make a run for the final stretch when you go into the end of the last week of February, last few days of February, and then all of March because it's not working, and then halfway through April. And this wouldn't it go down with all the hype as one of the more disappointing Blues seasons with all the hype coming into the season.
Yeah, as somebody who doesn't really partake in hockey that much, I always listen to the chatter every year, and this was one of the most hyped Blues team. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna really just move the needle this year and all that stuff. And I was just like, I don't know, man.
I know. I gave myself a lot of credit that I shouldn't have for saying that I wasn't buying it.
Yeah, you were saying this in August.
I was not buying it. I didn't see. I don't know. It's just, here's the thing. It's not like, oh, I'm smart. I'm a soothsayer. I was like, what's different about this team from last year? Outside is that we hope and pray that something's going to be better. Once again, I compare it to relationships, right? You see me do that a lot. It's that same relationship. It's not going well. And then all of a sudden, you take a break. And then you come back and it's a new season, baby. Oh, it's new. We're going to be good. What's changed? Is there really a new dynamic? That was my point in the whole process. I didn't see a new dynamic with the team. I didn't. And I still don't. The makeup is not there. The sum of the parts do not work. And once again, not that you have to have a superstar, but they don't have a closer on offense. They don't. And I know it's easier said than done, but they don't. And even Hofer, who got another start last night, not Bennington, Hofer, yeah, he gave up 2 goals on 15 shots. But you'd like to think you can win some games if you're only giving up 2 goals. So it continues to be the up-down, all-around situation with the Blues, and it's like, okay, all right. We'll find a way, somehow, some way. Also, talking about sports from last night, while we're all happy, joy this morning, right now, because I stayed up and watched it, the Missouri Tigers are not an NCAA basketball team, meaning an NCAA tournament basketball team. They're just not. Coach Gates, man, I love you as a person, but man, you don't know how to coach close games. You just don't know how to coach close games. Why do I say that? As a fan, I'm looking at it going, my gosh, the team was erratic in the second half. I know you didn't watch it, Rye, but so many offensive possessions, just throwing up threes and bouncing off the rim and then getting out-rebounded by a smaller team. Now, Georgia has a little point guard, 5'10" dude. He's good, and he beat Mizzou with the final play of the game. But lose at home to Georgia after you've lost on the road to the teams that you have. Mizzou is now 3-3 in the SEC conference, and we'll go from there. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah, I love
surreal. Now Millender, 8 to shoot, 7 to play. Millender around Phillips, fouled, and it goes, and he's going to the line. Take a look. We said they'll hit surreal, then they usually have a guard coming around, but Smurf Millender,
and then of course Jacob
takes it
fight after game
to the 7-footer, gets it contact and gets the ball around.
You don't fight after you lose. You walk your butt right off the court, man.
What a victory for this Georgia ball club.
And one. Going up against
and a stunned crowd here at Mizzou Arena.
After how he talks and stuff, man.
Was that a foul? I didn't think it was a foul, but it didn't matter. It put him
on. Sometimes it's an and-1, even if it's not a foul to me.
Yeah, no,
I get a little bump. I'm saying and-1 and screaming it.
Hey, I always credit the Missouri fan base. Missouri fans showed up. First game last night, back from break. They looked good. They looked really good. The fan base, that is. The team was down at half, and they just missed too many shots. Now I don't see them winning 10 or 11 games in conference, which is what I think they're going to have to do to make the tournament. And they lost. Georgia now 16-3 and 4-2. Mizzou held them to a season low point total of 74. Georgia likes to score a lot of points, but it doesn't matter. And the other problem is, Mark Mitchell had 18 points. Jaden Stone had 13 for Mizzou. But Mark Mitchell missed a lot of key shots in the second half. He was their player. And then all of a sudden, Anthony Robinson for Mizzou has disappeared. He has absolutely disappeared on this basketball team. I don't know what's going on. He looks disengaged. He looks like half the player he was before, and Missouri needs him. And Coach Gates also came out this week and said Missouri's going to be as good as Anthony Robinson is. And he's been nowhere. It's almost like he's pouting. It's just, I'm sad because Mizzou is not a tournament team. This is reminding me more and more of the team that I thought they would be after Illinois drubbed them. Now, Jaden Stone.
Kansas, too.
Yeah, well, I expected.
I didn't want to bring that up.
No, I expected the Kansas beatdown.
I did too, but I wanted it to be a closer game, even though Kansas is nice.
We just
Peterson is nice.
Yeah, we just didn't expect a 42 drubbing beatdown by Illinois. We knew it was going to be Kansas-esque.
When you're going up against the European national team, man, it's the U24 team, it's kind of tough.
They are the U24.
Got one of the greatest shooters of all time, son on the team, man.
Stojakovic. Hey, by the way, congrats to Illinois. You know what? That could be a Final Four team. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, because they're
pending draw and talent and shooting ability and size.
I love the European game. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
You know what? I'd rather watch the European game than what I'm watching in the NBA. And I'm not trying to turn it into an NBA bash session.
I wouldn't. I would rather watch the NBA than European, but I would rather watch European than college. I'm not gonna lie. Unless I'm watching Peterson.
Yeah, I was getting too crazy. Everything you just said, I'll say. I agree.
I just like the NBA because it's like pickup basketball with celebrities now. Basically, I think they're just podcasters that can hoop really, really good. So.
We lost the toughness. Where's the edge? Yeah, we got to have that NBA edge.
We need like a Ron Artest.
Who are the bad guys in the NBA now, man?
Draymond.
He's too old, and you know I love him.
Oh, Dylan Brooks is the bad guy.
Okay.
I like him.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He got under LeBron's skin.
Isaiah Stewart.
Okay.
He's a bad guy.
The other thing about it is Draymond's he's like the
crazy uncle.
Well, I also compare him to the old like junkyard dog. Yeah. Now, and I love dogs, but it's that dog it's had its life. It's on its last leg. Yeah. It's had a good life. And it's just kind of sitting there now. It's kind of gray. We love him. But he's not a player anymore.
Do you know the lore of why he punched Jordan Poole?
Mm-mm.
He got into an argument in practice with Jordan Poole. This was prime Jordan Poole. This was when he was.
I think I heard the story.
Yeah.
Talking about with Golden State for our listeners, by the way.
He got into an argument in practice with Jordan Poole, and Jordan Poole was just cooking, right? And he said, Draymond said something out of pocket, and then Jordan Poole said, "You're a very expensive backpack." He said, "You're a very expensive backpack for 30." And in 30 is Curry, number 30.
Oh, I know what. Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. That's a great one.
It's crazy though. Even Draymond is known through like a lot of like I know some of my homegirls. They don't even watch basketball. They know Draymond for stomping on people, kicking them.
Like,
they just know him for doing.
That's how old I am. I covered him in college at Michigan State.
He was nice at Michigan State.
Well, yeah, but he was under wraps with Tom Izzo. And that's another reason why I like Izzo. Some people say Izzo screws up. How many Michigan State guys have gone on to be NBA stars out of all the talent? Few, if any. Yeah. Draymond.
I think Miles Bridges was really good too.
But out of all the talent that has come through Michigan State and all the wins,
yeah, Winston.
You don't have guys that go Cassius.
Yeah,
I mean he was phenomenal.
But he was kind of small. He came in at the wrong time.
But from a basketball standpoint, so many good players that didn't end up becoming NBA players. But Izzo, that's the thing I love about Izzo. And I always talk about Izzo and John Beilein, the two best college basketball coaches that I've ever seen or been around. And I had a chance to cover them. One at Michigan State, one at Michigan. Both have had their teams in the NCAA championship game. Michigan losing a tight one to Louisville. And, of course, Michigan State winning one in 2000. But the other thing is I just look at where the college game to me it seems like it's a little off too, though. So I don't know, man.
It's really off. When you can play 7 games in the NBA and then just come back randomly, it's bad.
Well, that too.
It's when you can play. Well, I have no problem with the Europeans doing it though.
I'm like,
whatever. I don't know why. They've been playing pro since they was 12 though. So.
Yeah, the year's 2026. There's a lot of weird things going on. That's for certain. That is for freaking certain. It's like trying to figure all this stuff out. I mean, even, Fernando Mendoza, believe it or not, he has a younger brother who's the backup quarterback at Indiana. or at least was until yesterday. They win the national title. They're the toast of the town. By the way, the celebrations in Bloomington video started coming out yesterday. Absolutely insane. I knew people who went to Bloomington to celebrate and said there were bus loads of people from the St. Louis area that were in Bloomington. They went to celebrate there, and why not? If you can't go to the game because the game was so damn expensive, the next best thing, go to Bloomington. The basketball center was sold out where people watch the game. It's a great concept. You see that where they open up the arena or whatever, and then people come in. One of the coolest things I did, okay, real quick, going back, 2019, I was fortunate enough to be given a sweet ticket. I ended up to the Blues Game 6 against Boston. The most incredible atmosphere I've ever been in pregame, leading in, because we all knew the Blues were going to win the Stanley Cup in Game 6 on home ice. And, I mean, I get chills talking about it. And then Boston came out and scored early, took control. They won Game 6, and then we're all like, truck. They're going to go back and get their arses handed to them in Game 7 in Boston. So what did I do? It was like, we keep our hope. But Enterprise opened up for Game 7 for people to get tickets and come and watch. And it was just like a regular game. They had the game was on the Jumbotron. They had concessions. They had the cheer team on the ice, and you watch the game. And we watched the Blues win, and it was the same thing, celebrating. So that's what they did for Indiana. The celebrations have been crazy. Just wait until the team came back. It almost looked like the movie Hoosiers when they're driving down their country roads and people on the sides of the road and cheering. They've got, I don't think they did a pep rally yesterday. Maybe they did. I didn't see the video. But the celebrations they'll continue to have in Bloomington, oh my word. That's going to be insane. But my point in the story and bringing it all up was Fernando Mendoza's younger brother. He kind of got pushed out because they brought in a very good quarterback from TCU.
Yeah.
So he's going to Georgia Tech next year. So he found a home with Georgia Tech. So Fernando's little brother, good for him.
Not even that bad either. It's just
it's a different level in college. Man, this college stuff, it's trust me, I'm having conversations with my son about it right now.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm like, man, you've got to be an adult to play. I mean, you got to be a man to play now.
Yeah.
It's not student athletes anymore. This is minor league NFL.
Yeah, especially like even though I was at a mid-major,
and you got to be a bad dude to play.
Yeah. Even though I was at a mid-major, just talking to the guys and stuff, and like I'd hoop with them, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you'd walk on and you do this." And I'm like, "Man, the next year this coach may be gone, and I'm just on the bench for no reason." Or like,
well, we got to take a quick break. We went long here. We're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna make this okay. We got to take a quick break. This is Art City now. We'll be back with more right after this. The second hour, I told you it goes fast. That's producer Ryan, Vic Faust. It's Art City now. 6:59 on a Wednesday morning, January 21st. Back with more right after this.
The Lou Information Station, 590 AM KLIS, Wood River, St. Louis. Broadcasting live from the J. Randolph Jr. Studios in Kirkwood.
It's stronger than grandmother's breath.
KLIS 590 AM, Wood River, St. Louis.
Radio News. I'm John Summers. President Trump warned Iranian officials not to make assassination threats against him.
In an interview with News Nation, Trump said if something happens to him, the whole country is going to get blown up.
I have very firm instructions. Anything happens, they're going to wipe him off the face of this earth.
Trump had been briefed on the threats during the 2024 presidential campaign, but said Tuesday that former President Biden should have said something at the time. I'm Mark Mayfield.
President Trump's hopeful something can be worked out. Trump addressed reporters inside the White House press room and said there are several meetings coming up with European leaders about Greenland at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody.
The president has said the U.S. needs Greenland for national security, and something must be done before Russia or China move in. The U.S. seized another oil tanker in the Caribbean. U.S. Southern Command announced Tuesday U.S. forces took the tanker without incident. Officials say the vessel was operating in defiance of the Trump administration's quarantine of sanctioned vessels in the Caribbean. This is the 7th Venezuelan-linked oil tanker seized by the U.S. The fate of Texas 10 Commandments law is in the hands of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Justices were split on whether posting the Bible verses in public schools is constitutional.
The state legislature is singling out particular religious texts to be displayed in a way that's not curricular, but reverential.
Judge Stephen Higginson agreed the 10 Commandments is on display at the U.S. Supreme Court, but he says it's next to a picture of Muhammad. Contempt of Congress charges against the Clintons could go to a vote today. That's according to Republican Congressman James Comer, who heads the GOP-led House committee looking into the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton didn't show for their scheduled depositions last week. From America's News Network, USA Radio News.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven you can save thousands of dollars a year and actually like it more. Over 1 million Americans are now part of healthcare sharing, and MediShare is the gold standard. It's trusted. It works. It's been helping people save money and have peace of mind now for 30 plus years. It's not some big impersonal thing either. It's a community of people like you helping each other. So yeah, if you're frustrated too, here's your chance to make a refreshing change. You'll notice the difference as soon as you call. They're easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE.
News reports on the Lou Information Station are presented by Brown and Crouppen. 222-2222. 222-2222.
This message is presented on behalf of Delmar Mortgage. When it comes to buying or refinancing a home, everyone's situation is different, and having the right information can save you real money. You compare options side by side, understand the cost of waiting, and see when refinancing may actually make sense for you. Get your no obligation quick quote at savingthelou.com.
Individuals may have been compensated for this message. For licensing information, visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Delmar Mortgage, NMLS ID number 30998. Delmar Mortgage is an equal housing lender.
Is your brand stuck on the sidelines? Tired of feeling like your marketing budget is just warming the bench? Well, then it's time to get in the game with EyeSight Media. We don't just put your brand near the action, we put you in the action. Imagine this, your company front and center, showcased in NCAA and pro stadiums and arenas nationwide. If you're ready to elevate your brand to MVP status, don't miss this shot. Visit eyesightmediagroup.com today to apply for an in-arena partnership. That's eyesightmediagroup.com.
Introducing the Key STL Burger Bar and Boogie, your new home in the Grand Center Arts District. The Key STL is where the music plays, the game is always on, and the dance floor is open. The Burger Bar features the ultimate smash burger experience with premium pasture-raised local beef and a dozen house-made sauces to top it all off. It's the Key STL Burger Bar and Boogie, 3225 Olive in Midtown. Before, during, or after any game, this is the spot, St. Louis. Find out more at thekeystl.com.
Lou Information Station presents Arch City Now with Vic Faust.
Oh, it is a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day. Getting halfway through the work week, January 21st. It's here. It's Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust, producer Rye alongside as well. The sun's starting to come up on a cold St. Louis morning, but it's not as cold as it's going to be this weekend. It's going to be dangerously cold is what we're told. Temperatures, I don't know, highs in like 13 and 14 Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, not a weekend to be outside. It's a good weekend to be inside, so we can watch that. We get the NFL games this weekend. Who do you like to win those NFL games, producer Rye?
I like the Rams.
You got a rematch, Rams and Patriots?
Yeah, I want a Rams versus Patriots. That's what I've been saying all week. So
the rematch from 2001, when the officiating allowed the Patriots to manhandle and abuse Rams receivers, so much so that rules were changed.
Yeah, dude. That's true.
But anyway, I liked Mike Martz, but I just felt our team got by 2001. I felt like we got too finesse. That's way before your time. We were so much of we're gonna just light you up on the scoreboard. Football's still a man's game. It's still a physical game at the end of the day. Bill Belichick understood it, and heck, they were probably deflating footballs in 2001 too.
Probably.
Tom Brady. Anyway,
see everything we were doing in practice.
Everybody expects the Patriots just to roll the Broncos, and all the money is going to be on the Patriots. I've learned this, man. If most of the money is on a team, Vegas just doesn't lose more often than not. They just don't.
I'm going to say 2 words.
Jared Stidham, is that your 2 words?
Yeah, and Nick Foles.
Oh, yeah, there you go. There you go, people. Everybody thought the Eagles were done when Carson Wentz got hurt, and then Nick Foles shows up to the party and says, wait a second, I brought myself some drink. Let's party. Yeah, we'll see where that goes. I like the Rams at Seattle, too. I do. Believe it or not, your Rams at Seattle, especially after what they did last week to get that huge victory in the cold at Chicago. So, but the defense that they'll be facing in Seattle is 3 times better than Chicago's. Hey, 7:07 right now, January 21st here, Arch City Now. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. and all the time on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks for jumping in with us. We love it when you guys jump in on the show, like, subscribe, share the show. Talk to us about what you think's happening when it comes to the issues of St. Louis. More positive. We try to keep it more light here, not trying to get into the political things unless it really, really affects our daily lives. The entertainment aspect, the food, the drink, whatever is going on, the sports side of things. Jump in, Facebook, X, YouTube. We try to get your comments out there as well. And, of course, we appreciate it when you guys let us know what's moving the needle for you guys. A couple of the headlines, too, when we get into what we were talking about earlier. How about Hacienda? We talked about this earlier. So popular for so long, my friend, producer Rye, just down the street from where we are in Rock Hill, literally about a mile away from, maybe a little more than a mile, about a mile. From where we are on Manchester Road. By the way, we broadcast live out of the J. Randolph Jr. Studios, beautiful Kirkwood on Manchester Road, next to Pasta House in the Oberweis Shopping Center. Hacienda has been around for decades. So many good times there. Literally, it opened in 1968. But now, after 5 decades, it's coming to an end there. They're going to relocate, citing some economic hardships. That was one of the situations that they were dealing with. And, they said with all the rising costs, labor cost, everything, just all that made it not feasible to stay in that beautiful but 150-year-old building. So this Sunday, January 25th, is Hacienda's last day of regular business. So that means the restaurant's dining room is going to be closed for patrons. They said they're going to be using a catering and food truck service for the next few weeks. Their chips and sauce are pretty darn good. They're going to still remain at Deerberg's and Schnucks for people to purchase if they wanted to do that. But they did say they thanked the customers for 50 years of service. They said it's time to close this chapter so we can look ahead to what's next. But they hope to see everybody there this weekend to celebrate. So congrats. That's a long time running for a restaurant that had a lot of success there. So we certainly wish them the best when it comes to that standpoint of restaurants in the area. There's not a lot of Mexican in the St. Louis area. There's just not. I don't know. Maybe it's the St. Louis area, but when I've lived in other places,
Mexican everywhere.
Yeah.
Mexican food is everywhere, but in St. Louis, it's not. It's weird.
I mean, El Maguey? Is that St. Louis's Mexican choice of food?
R.I.P. El Burro Loco, too.
I mean, it just didn't seem like there's a lot, especially compared to the other cities that I've lived in.
Rosalitas?
Yeah, Rosalita. I like it. Out, 270. Manchester. I do like Rosalitas. They have some good food there, too. Speaking of restaurants, and speaking of, it's kind of Southwest cuisine. They had some dishes that could come across as Mexican, Southwest. Canyon Cafe. Have you ever tried Canyon Cafe over at Frontenac? They're getting ready to close as well. Now, I've been in there before. I've had food in there several times. I've been there when they've had good crowds. I've also been there when they didn't have good crowds at all. And it's like, okay, all right, I see what you got going on. But they've operated inside that mall. It's been more than a decade, but they also recently announced that its last day of business is also going to be this Sunday, January 25th. So Canyon Cafe on the way out at Frontenac, Hacienda on its way out this Sunday. Anything else that's going out of business, just let us know to get that heads up, get it out there so that people understand what they've got going on. Of course, that's what we try to do, get the word out from that standpoint. Or on the flip side, if there are new places opening up that you wanted to promote, that you've tried out, that you know of anything, let us know that as well. Okay, speaking of other restaurants, there are multiple St. Louis restaurants that have appeared on the latest Yelp's top 100 places to eat in 2026. St. Louis comes in, their first restaurant at number 71, Songbird. I have not, excuse me, I've not been to Songbird. Have you been to Songbird or have you heard of Songbird?
I've heard of Songbird. I haven't been there.
It's located on Morganford Road. It just relocated in November to a new location from Shodo. It serves breakfast and lunch fare. So that's Songbird coming in at number 71 on Yelp. Number 2 from the St. Louis area coming in at number 77, Telva at the Ridge. And I haven't been to any of these three. I just haven't. I haven't had a chance. Haven't been out that way. But they're from the family behind Balkan Treat Box. They opened its doors in January of 2024, so it's still fairly new. They have counter service, cafe. They have a coffee shop that serves a variety of Balkan-inspired dishes. Then you've got number 3 from the St. Louis area. Coming in at number 82, that is Blues City Deli. So Blues City Deli coming in at 82. And Blues City Deli, they're located they're owned by Vince Valenza. They're at McNair, 2438 McNair. A variety of sandwiches, salads, sides, often has lines out the front door during their lunch hour. And then the 4th St. Louis area restaurant on the 100 top list for Yelp of places to eat in 2026 is at number 97, Polite Society. They're open for dinner and brunch on the weekends. That's located at 1923 Park Avenue over in Lafayette Square. Beautiful area, of course. And, you get an idea of some of those restaurants that made the list. Now, there's always reasons why certain restaurants get on certain lists and others don't. That was just one that they had. That one came from Yelp. And I'm sure it was done when it came to votes. And people can come in and do all kinds of votes to say, I want this or I want that. You had to go to your Yelp app. Ci Siamo in New York was number 1, just to give you an idea of some of the restaurants and how they do it and how they come in. The second was Taste of Texas in Houston, Texas. So you had a New York restaurant. Then you had Nam Kitchen, Gardenia, California. You get an idea. Oh, there's a restaurant in Honolulu, Hawaii, coming at number 4, Waffle and Berry, and their food looks absolutely breakfast, obviously. Waffle and Berry from that standpoint. Okay, this is Art City Now, giving you some of the headlines that we were talking about when it came to the restaurants and so forth. Also, letting you know when it comes to what happened from a standpoint last night. Not so great. Mizzou at home loses to Georgia in a game that went right down to the wire. If you're Missouri and you want to make the NCAA tournament, you have to win that game. By all accounts, intents and purposes, before last night's game, Missouri was on the outside looking in as they were 3-2 in the SEC, losing again, now 3-3, and losing at home with some of the schedule that they have remaining did not look very good. They have certainly got their work cut out for them if they want to make the NCAA tournament this year. I mean, literally another game. They've now lost 3 in the SEC, and they've all been tight games all the way down to the end of the game, literally to the final minute. This team cannot close out. They miss way too many shots, too many offensive possessions wasted. They're not a disciplined team, and it's not working. Anthony Robinson, who was supposed to be one of their best players, literally is MIA. I mean, I have no idea where he is. No idea. Not involved. Doesn't seem like he's trying to be involved. It's almost like, and I don't want to say this with kids because I know I was a college athlete as well, but it almost seems like he's uninterested or just like, yeah, whatever. And I saw things change when they brought Jaden Stone back in. And I talk about the sum of parts working. And for whatever reason, Jaden Stone coming back, Missouri's a better basketball team, but does not work for Anthony Robinson and Jacob Cruz. Those two have disappeared when Jaden Stone came back. And the new group, it's not working. It's not. And they got to figure it out. And that's, guess who that's up to? It's not up to the players. It's up to the coach who makes over $4 million a year. If you're making over $4 million a year, it's not just to stand and look pretty on the sideline in a suit. It's to win games. And Dennis Gates is losing far too many games that are important. And Missouri fans should be upset. You pay good money, you give your time, you go and you celebrate, and you're at the games. And the crowd was absolutely amazing in Columbia last night. But you can't lose. And by the way, it was the first loss at home this season. And it's just unfortunate. Cruz, by the way, did hit a three-pointer to put Mizzou up 72-71. I don't know, with what, like 27 seconds left? Big shot by Cruz. But then Mizzou gave up a little layup, 5'11" guy over one of our 7-footers, plus a foul. Georgia went up 2. Missouri couldn't do anything about it. They go on to lose. Georgia, by the way, now 16-3. They're 4-2 in the conference after their 74-72 win over Mizzou. And then Mizzou now falls to 3-3 in the conference. And it's like, what could have been? They're 13-6 overall, 3-3. And if Missouri had serious hopes of making the NCAA tournament, last night was a game that they had to win. They had to, and they didn't. And now they're really, really, really behind the 8 ball if they think they're going to be making the NCAA tournament. Because right now, when you look at the rest of the schedule that they have, it does not shape up well for them. Okay, better news in college basketball. SLU into the top 25. How cool is that? Hey, I don't care that SLU hasn't played anybody, and I don't care that they haven't beat anybody. What they have done is they have won their schedule, and they've dominated their schedule. They're 18-1. They're 6-0 in the Atlantic. I would not be surprised if they run the table, as my son told me they would do last week, and literally win the conference basketball tournament. I know it's saying a lot and asking a lot just to assume that they're going to win every game because things can happen. But right now, this is a Billikens team that's just better than everybody else in the conference, literally. And here's the other cool thing about SLU. They had a 17-point lead in the second half. They blew most of it, but then they still did what they had to do to hold on to win 81-77. DeCoin came back and made a nice run. But now SLU can tie its best start in program history Friday with the win at St. Bonaventure. 1993-94 teams. Erwin Claggett, Scotty Highmark. Fun teams to watch. Fun teams. Spoon ball. By the way, it's been 110 years of SLU basketball. And with a win Friday at St. Bonaventure, they can tie. And, of course, they probably will. So the Billikens, by the way, back into the AP top 25 for the first time in years. That's an exciting thing. And it also goes to show, and I knew that they would get into the top 25 because Bruce Pearl threw out a lot of praise for Josh Scherz, head coach from SLU. He tweeted out over the weekend that Scherz is one of the best coaches in the game that nobody knows about or talks about. Now, if you're a SLU fan, be worried. I'm just telling you, maybe he loves SLU so much he won't consider leaving. But SLU came in at number 24. And don't think for a second that his name, especially if SLU continues to have a really good year this year, isn't going to be up for other massive jobs. And SLU's a big job. SLU's not a massive job. Now, if they want to come to the table with a lot of the money that they have and make sure's a deal that he can't refuse, great. But I do believe, because he is a very good offensive coach, and he proved it at Indiana State before he even got to SLU. He's only gotten better here with some better players. That he is going to be a hot commodity on the market for teams that is looking for a dynamic head coach that want to have great offensive efficiency, which is what this man does. SLU off and rolling, 24th, they win. They can set the all-time record for start. That would be really, really great for this team. Coming up on Friday at St. Bonaventure. Okay, the news, not so wonderful. When it comes to our Blues, oh, man, last night they lose again, people. Again. Final score, 3-1 last night. Winnipeg came out with the help of some power play action. Scored 2 goals in the first period. The Blues answered with a goal late in the second period. It was 2-1. And then they played a tight playoff-esque game for the entire third period until the Blues pulled their goalie. They pulled Joe Hofer, and Winnipeg got an open netter. Final score was 3-1. Hofer had 13 of 15 saves, but the Blues could manage 0 offense. It's like, what the hell do we have to do to get some offense? The problem also that you have then is the fact that you lose again for the second straight time on the road. You've lost 5 of 7 games. You had 22 shots on net. And now you're at the bottom of your conference. You're at the bottom. The Blues are at the bottom of their conference after another loss. And it doesn't get any easier if you haven't seen this, guys. Because now their schedule is really, really tough. Friday, they're at Dallas. Oh, yeah, and if you haven't checked how good Dallas is a team that has 65 points. They're 28-13-9. The Blues are last place in the division, 46 points. They're just 19-23-8. So you got to play at Dallas on Friday. Then you come back home on Saturday, which you're like, okay, maybe that won't be so bad. But then you look at the schedule and how difficult it gets. The Blues are having problems on the road. They're one of the worst teams in the NHL on the road. So at least back at home, they're showing us signs of life. But they host LA, who's a team that's better than them, but at least they get them at home. Then they host Dallas again next Tuesday, and then Florida next Thursday. So it's not getting any easier. And they take this up until the break starts at February 4th, until the U.S. hockey, or not the U.S., but the Winter Olympic hockey break begins. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, could they go on a heater? Could they win 3 or 4? Sure. Are they capable of it? Yeah. Have they done that? No. Should we count on it? No. And then it almost seems like the team is kind of, it's just there. And that's not going to get them into the playoffs. And then when you look at the standings, it's like, uh-oh. And they've got Dallas, 3 times here before the break. 3 total games against Dallas. I don't know. Maybe they'll have some sort of spell over Dallas and they can win those games. But these are not the things that should get you excited when it comes to, oh, yeah, our Blues, they're going to be getting it done. They're going to be great. No, it's just not working. If offense continues to be an issue, but, you give up 2 goals. You got to find a way to get a goal against a team that's behind you in the division, and they couldn't. And it ended up hurting them because they lost again. And it's like, oh, man. So anyway, they're left trying to figure out what they can possibly get done from that standpoint. Hey, by the way, a couple other updates real quick. Former Cardinal Carlos Beltran and Andrew Jones, who played with the Braves, saw him for way too many years here in St. Louis, hurting the Cardinals. Elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame. By the way, St. Louis and Joe Buck will be a part of those ceremonies as well. Congrats to Joe, but these are the 2 elected into the Baseball Football Hall of Fame. They're joining Jeff Kent, who was elected back in December in the Contemporary Era Committee voting, which is really, really good. Beltran was a 9-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, just a terrific player. Obviously, spent some time in St. Louis as well. So congrats to him. And Andrew Jones, I mean, every bit the player as well, had a really top-notch career. So congrats to them. Congrats to everything else that is going on from that standpoint when it comes to what we see, what's going on, and so forth. So I also needed to, what did we have here? Make sure that we got this out there. Yeah, so the Blues are in action then, and then we'll go from there. Hey, NFL football this weekend, we were talking about it. Patriots, Broncos, Rams. We'll talk about it more in the next couple days. They're coming, Rams and Seahawks. You guys can start getting your predictions in. We'll start talking about those on Friday as people start to look forward to what's going on coming up in that break. And then we've also got, where did we have that on the list? Kurt Signetti, by the way, after a $10 bonus for winning a championship. Must be nice to be Kurt Signetti. Could you imagine wherever he goes now? I mean, he can't. The guy is an icon everywhere. Everywhere.
I win. I win.
I win. And he didn't get his first big-time coaching job until he was 62 years old. And he's like, I don't care. He's like, there was always a plan. We want success now, but there was always plan. And the best part about his story is so many things in life. He had a wife, a supportive wife who said, I've got your back. And it's not easy attaining things in life. But if you've got a team, a husband and a wife together, whatever, and you two, or if you got that special person, you can accomplish a lot. I mean, he literally went to her and said, yeah, we're going to give up this big time job at a painting job for an assistant coach at Alabama to go make like $40,000 at IUPUI or something. She backed him. She's like, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. And they are winning it right now. Congrats to them. $2 million boat at. He has also had a new renegotiated deal. He's now a top 3 average paid college football coach. Yeah, he should be making $1 more than anybody else. Right now, if you didn't realize, the highest paid coaches, Georgia's Kirby Smart, multiple national championship winner, get $13.28 million per year. Number 2, LSU's coach, Lane Kiffin, $13 million. Ohio State's Ryan Day, $12.5 million. Signetti was 3rd before Kiffin got a raise to go from Ole Miss to LSU, but then his $2 million clause kicked in, so over $14.5 million for Signetti this year. And a national championship and a Heisman Trophy winner. Oh, yeah, and Mark Cuban is now your biggest supporter, and he just paid for a class of transfers to Indiana. Don't think Indiana's going anywhere anytime soon. They won't have the same chemistry and makeup as they had with Fernando there, but my gosh, wait till you see the players that are coming into Indiana next year. They are good. All right, guys, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk with local personal injury attorney, John Wilbers, and just get things caught up. And he's got a cash stash going on that's become very popular throughout the area. Also, he was the duck boat attorney in that whole situation that went down. We'll catch up with him. Also educate you on things that you need to be aware of when it comes to the area and making sure that you're as safe as you can possibly be. This is Art City Now. I'm Vic Faust. Producer rides alongside. It's a Wednesday. It's January 21st. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at louinfo.com. Back after this.
What are the keys to a great night out? Great food and drinks, great prizes, and great friends. Join us Thursday, January 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Key STL Burger, Bar, and Boogie in the Grand Center Arts District. Enjoy a live broadcast with Cam Jansen and Jim Hayes, plus special guest Matt Adams. Dig into the best smash burgers in town and get your shot at winning opening day Cardinals tickets, autographed merch, and more. That's Thursday, January 22nd, 6 to 8 p.m. at the Key STL, 3225 Olive. Come eat, hang out, and win.
Fast Track Auto Transport has been a trusted leader in vehicle shipping for over 25 years, providing reliable, affordable service across the U.S. Fast Track offers fast and safe transportation solutions for individuals, dealers, and businesses of all sizes. The Fast Track team prides itself on honest communication, competitive pricing, and real-time tracking, which gives our customers peace of mind from pickup to delivery. Whether you're shipping a single car or managing a large fleet, Fast Track delivers a smooth, hassle-free experience every time. Come see why Fast Track Auto Transport has been St. Louis's go-to company for all your vehicle transport needs for over 25 years. The trusted way, the safe way, the Fast Track way. Visit ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004. That's ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004.
LouInfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
Your LouInfo.com news report. Frank Carr has been sentenced to 366 days in state prison for a crash that led to a St. Louis police officer losing part of his leg. Carr pleaded guilty last November to leaving the scene of an accident causing injury and tampering with evidence. The March 2025 crash happened on Interstate 70 when Officer Nathan Spice was struck while pursuing a teenage carjacking suspect. Carr fled, but later confessed. A St. Louis man faces charges after allegedly breaking into a building at the Anheuser-Busch Tech campus on Sydney Street. 23-year-old Theron Bailey Kent was found asleep on a couch by a security guard on Sunday. Investigators say he damaged a beer cooler, interior door frame, and stole several servings of beer. Security footage shows him entering the building by climbing under a gate. Jennings High School reopened Tuesday after extensive repairs from a broken water pipe that burst overnight December 22nd. Classes were initially set to resume January 6th, but they did virtual learning instead. They'll be on a hybrid schedule for the time being. With the Lou Information Station streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com and the free Lou Info app, I'm Jen Austin.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by STL Sports Central. St. Louis sports. Anytime, anywhere.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. We've got some really cold air on the way by Friday and through the weekend. For now, we'll stay with a mix of sunshine and clouds today. Afternoon high in the low 40s, clear and mid-20s for the overnight hours, and breezy or in the upper 30s and a mix of sun and clouds Thursday. Friday, a lot colder, mid-teens and cloudy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com and the free Lou Info app.
Tune in each week as STL Sports Central, the Lou Information Station, and the Too Many Men on the Mic podcast present the Mid-States Club Hockey Association Game of the Week. Brought to you by Mattingly Lumber, Vantage Credit Union, Chicken and Pickle, and by the Watson Private Wealth Group at Stifel.
When you buy a hot tub, you want more than bubbles. You want value that lasts. At St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse, their low overhead means premium American-made products priced better than the competition and the best price guarantee in town. They'll beat any local dealer on a comparable model. With over 38 years in business and 400+ five-star reviews, you can trust they'll be there to service your spa long after the sale. St. Louis Hot Tub Warehouse, highest quality, best price. Visit besthоttubprices.com today.
Hockey parents, be honest. Are your tournaments this season feeling a little unpredictable? You planned the weekend, booked the hotel, hauled the gear. You deserve a tournament provider that's as organized as you are. And that's where Big Bear Tournaments comes in. No guessing games, no mystery matchups. We proudly list every registered team right on the website. You always know exactly who's in your division. There's great competition, clear communication, and zero last-minute surprises. Make your season smoother. Check out your next tournament at BigBearTournaments.com.
Hey, St. Louis, looking for high-flying action and electric energy? Grab your crew, hit the road, and experience a Grizzlies game night in Memphis. An unmatched atmosphere and star-studded NBA matchups are waiting for you just down the road on I-55. There's nothing like Grizz game energy, and there's nothing like being here with 19,000 new Grizz Nation friends at FedEx Forum. Dive into the action. Follow the Grizzlies on social media and visit grizzlies.com/tickets to grab your seats today. That's grizzlies.com/tickets.
The Earl Austin Experience with Earl Austin Jr. Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. Brought to you by Fast Track Auto Transport, St. Louis's go-to company for all your vehicle transport needs. Visit ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004. Back to more of Arch City Now with Vic Faust on the Lou Information Station. Streaming 24/7 at louinfo.com.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. Appreciate you being with us. It is Arch City Now. I'm Vic Faust. Producer Rise alongside as well. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. All things St. Louis all the time. The other stories making news headlines around the country from a local standpoint as well, and anything else that's moving the meter for you. You guys jump in, let us know. Of course, you can always call if you want. We leave those phone lines open just in case. That is 855-282-8255. Once again, that is 855-282-8255. We are your Lou Information Station. We are live and on demand at luinfo.com. Of course, you can always check in and join us live on X, Facebook, and YouTube. That's where you can stream us as we come to you Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 a.m. By the way, Take Central follows us each day. The former Blue, Cam Jansen, and Cardinals broadcaster, Jim the Cat Hayes. On Wednesdays from 10 to 11 o'clock, we have the MIZ STL show. Grant Salzman, Brendan Schaefer. Oh, they get the wonderful honor of talking about Missouri's wonderful loss last night to Georgia, 74-72 losers. That was not a great game for the Tigers. Anyway, they're going to have to pick up a couple wins that maybe they're not favored in, I think, to have a shot at making the NCAA tournament. And I'm sorry. You are judged by whether you make the NCAA tournament and or win games there. You just are. That's what it's about. Yeah, it can be fun during the regular season to get wins here and there, but you have to win. You have to win. And Missouri has not been doing that in the tournament. At least Dennis Gates hasn't. And I'm sorry. I'm not even getting into, we got such a great recruiting class coming in next year. Okay, fantastic. What have you done for me? What have you done for me in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, last year, and what are you doing now? So that's where they are. So that's the show from 10 to 11. And then from 11 to 1, it's the Unk, Charlie Toon and the Posse bringing it to you from their show coming in as well. Hey, wanted to give you guys a heads up. There's a new entertainment facility, Wow Entertainment. A $15 million family entertainment complex in Fenton right now. They're looking to hire more than 85 workers. They're getting ready to set this up within a few weeks. So the complex will be the first by Wow Entertainment. So the principal, Craig Taylor of Wildwood, has a 2-level, 25,000 square foot center, features a full-service indoor restaurant and bar, event and outdoor patio spaces, multiple attractions, including golf and virtual reality games. So they're scheduled to open this. It's a new area. And of course, we talk about new venues and entertainment areas that are opening up. So the complex is currently scheduled to open February 27th. They have a hiring fair January 29th through February 1st. That's going to be at the center's location. So where it is it's at 138 Fielder Lane. So it's let's see here, 138 Fielder Lane off Highway 141, south of Gravois Bluffs in Fenton. And so it's a pretty, if you check it out, it's a pretty damn cool place. Something kind of new as well that you'll have. You can check it out. It's a new vibe. I haven't seen anything like it in St. Louis, but pretty cool place out in Wildwood. Look it up, check it out. I don't want to say Top Golf-esque, but I don't know. It just seems like it's a little bit more cozy when it comes to that standpoint. Speaking of cozy, we are going to bring in our guy, John Wilbers, local attorney, extremely accomplished, personal injury attorney, does so many things from that standpoint. John, good to see you, man. Good to have you back in studio.
You flatter me, Dick. Extremely accomplished might be a stretch.
Well,
but,
I don't
it's
know.
Good to see you too.
I would have believed you, but the problem is you gave it away. The first time I met you, as a matter of fact, was when you covered and took care of everything with the duck boat. You had that whole duck boat controversy on Table Rock. What year did that happen again?
So, that was 2018.
Dang, I can't believe it's been that long.
It's been a long time, but I'll tell you, we just had a sort of a closure on one last issue with respect to the captain of the boat that was on the news recently.
I did see the story.
So, yeah.
What happened with that?
So they had charged the captain criminally, and they ended up dismissing the case just because they determined that his actions weren't the primary cause for the situation, and so it wasn't criminally possible.
So, how did that? Well, I guess I'll backtrack on that for a second. And forgive me, I didn't put the mic out closer. Can you bring the mic closer? Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry about that, man. Oh, there's the John Wilbur voice that I know right there. I love it.
I didn't know I had to.
You've got a voice
with the microphone, but I got it.
You've got it. Perfect. How many people did you represent in of that whole situation that went down?
So I represented family in St. Louis. There were 17 deaths, and it was a situation where, besides one law firm out of Philadelphia that represented half of the people who were killed, the rest of the families were from all over the United States, and there were lawyers from all over the United States. I was honored to actually be a part of these lawyers because it was a conglomerate of some of the best plaintiffs lawyers in the United States. In fact, one of the lawyers had represented some people in Deepwater Horizon, and Bob Mangaluzzi out of Philadelphia is considered probably the top commercial accident lawyer in the United States, had handled numerous tugboat case accidents before. And, so I was honored to be a part of this group, and I was by far the youngest lawyer out of everybody.
What was a huge accomplishment for you? Obviously, I remember some of the judgments that came down for your clients. I mean, nobody wants to go through a horrific situation like that, being a family member left behind. So you do what you do, and that's why there are attorneys to try to make something a little bit better. I believe in deterrence, and obviously those are deterrents. And you had a ton of success with that. I met you. I did those stories. I know your clients were extremely happy from the standpoint of, hey, if this is going to happen, then we want to make sure that we're represented the best way possible.
Yeah, the family from St. Louis was just a wonderful family. Bill Asher, I don't think they'd mind me naming his name, but was just loved by everybody in the community.
His name became super popular because of this huge situation that he dealt with. I remember going through it. I mean, his name was put out there a lot.
Yeah, St. Louis, the Asher family from St. Louis was a very good representative of the type of person that, whose lives were shattered, their families shattered as a result of what happened. Jennifer Asher, one of his children, is one of the nicest people I've ever met. In fact, she had such a close relationship with her father that he texted her literally minutes before he got on the duck boat. And when he didn't answer the phone, she knew something was wrong and was up all night long waiting for his call. Knew he was on this duck boat, and then found out there was an issue with the boat, and had been up all night just waiting for his call and worried. And so, but it was just it was something where the family wanted closure. They didn't want this to happen to anybody else going forward. The duck boats are back, but they've redesigned them. The boats prior to that were death traps, and nobody knew this, but
they're safe now.
They've redesigned the entire boats. I'll tell you, I for everybody who's been to Branson or anybody who's been down on, any type of entertainment area or something like that, is I remember seeing the duck boats. I had enough sense. I'm a Lake of the Ozarks guy. I've been around boats. I'm by no means an expert, but they just looked, something was off, and so I'd never actually personally ridden on one, but when you go to your hotel, you see all the pamphlets and brochures, and I remember pulling a few of those brochures on the duck boat, and on the top it said safe, family friendly fun. Well,
yeah,
they had known that prior to this duck boat accident and that happened in Branson, there was approximately 15 deaths that they just had settled those cases, and nobody ever knew about them on various areas in the United States on these dangerous, vessels. And so when that happened, it was just too many people who were killed, and cat was out of the bag. And so it was a way to get these things off the, I guess, out of every entertainment and resort area in the United States, because they were everywhere. It wasn't just in Branson. I mean, they were all over the place.
Wow. Things worked out as best as they could for your clients from your standpoint. That's when I first met you. And then clearly you've had success after success when it comes to the industry. And then I thought and I've known you from afar, and it's just one of those things that's like, John's giving away money, a stash cash. Okay. How long have you been doing this? And if you don't know, and if you haven't seen John, you've blown up on social media in regards to doing these, and forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but the cash stashes around the area. I'm assuming it's been a pretty darn good thing for you in the business.
It's starting to be, and I'll tell you, it's if you asked me 4 months ago, 5 months ago, if I had almost 40,000 followers on Instagram, I'd be like, what is Instagram?
Money.
Yeah, I'm the type of guy like on social media before who maybe I'd collect like 2 followers in a month or something. I don't know, but so it's one of those things where you see where things are headed. Social media, is really not the thing I spend all my time on, but nevertheless is something that actually is where a lot of the next generation spend a lot of their time on and get their information. And so I knew just was, the legal industry, especially personal injury industry is changing, significantly. As far as marketing goes and things like that, I'm an old school guy. I never really was a big fan of, billboards, not judging or saying there's anything wrong with that. But, I wasn't a billboards guy or TV guy, probably because my father was a lawyer and that was ingrained in my head of not advertising as a lawyer. And, so all of our cases were referrals and things like that. But I knew I had to do something at some point here. Times are changing, right? And so I actually ran into a friend of mine at a place out, and he introduced me to this guy, and this guy gave me his spiel, something about increasing followers on Instagram, yada, 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 one in one ear out the other, but we exchanged numbers, and so I was thinking, I'm going to call this guy and hear what he has to say. And so this is sort of a new concept. And what it was an effort to drive, followers to Instagram. They would place cash out in the community and, give the clues through your Instagram site. And then
it's well done. You do. I've gotten on it. I was already following you, but
it is, and I wish I could take the credit for this idea, but I can't.
It's all right. It does not matter.
But it became something where, I originally thought it was a good idea because I could just keep the dollars around town, where we'd put $500 here, $500 there. And so I was like, let's try it for a month. And so we start doing these cash drops, and, we do like 2 or 3. And, I see my Instagram followers, spike. And then one day I'm actually with my children, and we're actually, I think it was Walmart or some store. And, my kids are running around. I'm trying to make sure they're contained. And, and as we're going through the store, this lady comes up to me, and she has just really a look of just utter appreciation. And I didn't really know at first who it was. And she said, Mr. Wilbers, she said, I'm so-and-so. I actually found the 3rd stash.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, you did.
That's really cool that they recognized you and you guys ran into each other.
Right. But really what came out of her mouth was one of the most heartfelt, and it just changed everything for me, because I realized what was going on with the cash stashes, and I realized we got to do more of those. But she came up to me and she said, Mr. Wilbur, she said, and she had 2 children with her, and she was shopping like me, I think it was a Walmart actually. And she said, I just want to tell you thank you. She said, I was, I found stash 2 or 3 was one of those. And she said, that $500 meant the world to me. She said, it was life-changing for me. She said, I'm a single mother. I have 2 children. I was 2 months behind in my rent. The landlord, this is right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
The landlord was going to throw me out, and I really had no place to go. And out of nowhere, she found this money, $500, obviously through the clues on my website and so forth. But she said I was at the right time, the right place. The clue came through. I got the $500, and I was able to pay my back rent, and I was able to be in my place for Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you, it was a moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably hit. You're like, never in a million years would you think you'd be using Instagram. Everybody wins. They win because somebody's getting helped. And you win. You've got people coming in to find out what you do and the kind of services that you can provide through your business as well. They find out a little bit more about John Wilbers.
It was great. Yeah. And the thing is that at that moment I was like, somehow I put this, somehow this happened, but the benefit was, this reaction and this impact on this nice woman and her children. And you know what, maybe it's luck, maybe it's timing, who knows, but we're going to do more of it. So we've done it for 3 months. We've given out about $10,000 in cash, and we'll probably give out somewhere around $40,000 to $50,000 this year.
That's freaking amazing. So right now, is there one that's hidden? Is there one that's coming up? How often are you guys doing the drops?
So I will be honest and say I'm not responsible for hiding money.
You're actually busy being an attorney.
Yeah, right. But I will say this is that we usually do one once a week. The last one we did was this last weekend. We did it at Tower Grove Park. We'll probably do one towards the end of this week. You can get on and look for the clues at Wilbers Injury Law, which is our Instagram.
Wilbers Injury Law on Instagram.
And we'll post clues or hints where the money will be. We usually do 2. We circle a geographic area of St. Louis, and then the second clue is actually usually a picture or something that pinpoints where the money is. And believe it or not, it's if you lived in St. Louis your whole life, or for some time, and it's fun to sort of revisit these areas that you forgot about, or that you don't go to, or that you don't think about that often. You live in your own little municipality or neck of the woods.
That's true.
Louis. And so it's one of those things where it's neat, and we do it all over. We don't just stay in one place. We south, north, west. We even went over and dropped one in Metro East one time.
That's right, baby. Can't leave out the Metro East.
Yeah, that's right.
Bell Vegas, baby.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're stretching as far as we can. At least on Jay, maybe. But
I also wanted to say I love whoever runs your social media. It's really funny.
It is. These guys are great. Seth and Juan, they're the 2 guys that run this thing. They're real creative, and we're getting, sometimes we had over 1 million views on one of our posts.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it.
One of the Stashcast posts?
Yeah. It's usually the one like that. It's never usually me by myself, where
I get
numbers there. But
is $500 the most that you give per drop?
So no, actually, around the holidays we do 1,000.
Okay.
And we did that twice. And who knows? I mean, I like the $500 to $1,000 mark. Who's to say we might do a special one where it's more, we're always sort of getting creative. At Thanksgiving, we did the $1,000 in a turkey for, not the actual turkey.
That's a good deal. Well, it's all about so people can understand who you are as a person, why they should consider you if they're going out there. I mean, we have about 3.5 minutes left, and I wanted to make sure that I gave you an opportunity to kind of talk about who you are, what you are as a business, what people should be looking for if they have situations, maybe also why people have gotten excited or thrilled that they've worked with you and your company.
Sure. I like to say that we give our clients the 4 seasons, of representation, so to speak, the white glove approach. And really what it is just, we connect with our clients. I feel like I connect with my clients. Clients are not just a number with us. We really, go above and beyond for our clients, in all fronts, and the thing is, when you're involved in a car accident, there's a lot of moving parts. And, from the beginning, when, whether you lost a loved one or you're seriously injured, you can't work, there's a lot of emotional things with it. And there's a lot of things outside the actual handling the case part, whether it be, making sure financially able to sustain yourself, or, that you're able to obtain proper medical care. And that's a huge one. People don't really realize the barriers to entry to medical care these days. But also too, the opportunities if you have the right lawyer. In fact, St. Louis, the doctors in St. Louis are able to treat people on what's called a lien. And a lot of doctors use this here in St. Louis. And what that is people can get medical treatment without any health insurance, or even with health insurance. But if they don't want to use their copays, with any doctor who's actually going to treat them, and not bill them or anything like that, and get paid when the case is resolved. Okay. And why that's important is it opens up opportunities for people who don't have health insurance, or people who, would rather not pay expensive copays and things like that. And it's also risk-free, because if you don't recover any money, then you don't have to pay the medical.
Mm-hmm.
And so helping people make sure they, know what's out there as far as medical care, ranging from chiros all the way to, specialty doctors such as surgeons, ortho, spine, whatever. And then ultimately, after, they're done with their treatment, trying to get them the most money possible for their injuries, and that's a matter of just experience and proven a record, really.
But I mean, and you've been doing this for quite some time.
It's been 23 years.
Oh my
now,
gosh.
so I know. I should, I don't know if I want to say that on the radio.
Of course you do. Experience. Hey, you know what? Just like we talk about sports, there's no experience or substitute for NIL experience when these players have had a lot of starts. That's how Indiana just won a national title.
Right.
There's no experience. There's no substitute for experience that you have when you go through these things. People want to come in and know, hey, I'm going to get a slam dunk here. I've already been harmed in some way. I don't want to be victimized a second time.
Yeah, I'll tell you, probably, somebody asked me, what do I ask a lawyer if I'm interviewing personal injury lawyers? Do I ask them about their trial record or whatever? And yeah, you want to ask those questions, but really the question you want to ask is, what kind of doctors do you have access to? Because in St. Louis, if you've had a situation or know somebody who has this horrific back injury and they end up just going to a chiropractor, they don't get any imaging or they don't see specialists, it's probably because the lawyer doesn't have access to some doctors. And really what that is doctors are seeing people on liens like I described. And sometimes the doctors, they don't have to see clients. I mean, keep in mind that they're doing this with no payment up front. And so if for some reason the doctors aren't working with a law firm or they only work with certain lawyers, you want to have access to whatever kind of doctors you can to help treatment for your clients, and the medical treatment substantiates the damages.
Yeah.
And so
remind people again before we get out of here really quick, the best way to find you.
So you can give us a call at 314-721-3040. We're online at www.thewilberslawfirm.com. And obviously at our Instagram site at Wilbers Injury Law.
When will the next Dash Cash be? Do you know? Any idea?
I think we're going to do one this weekend. Don't quote me on that, but if not, it'll be some
check his
within a few days. So.
Check his Instagram page, guys. Hot Take Central 2.0 next.
Finders keepers, right?
With former Blue Cam Jansen, Cardinals broadcaster Jim the Cat Hayes. As always, stay positive. Have a great day. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.